horrific CGI abominations of the dwarves when they could have just cast little people in the first place. And lately, and I personally love this one.
Yeah, I don't even understand the decision with the dwarves. Like, I don't. It's just like, I don't even understand how that's like woke. Like, or what I mean is like, I don't understand how, like, what rationale you would use to think that it would be less offensive to use CGI dwarves. It doesn't make any sense. It's also like, surely it's more expensive to do CGI dwarves than to just have real little people.
We found out that Snow White's name is because she was born in the snow, not because of her skin color. I hate it here. But as the film's release date draws closer...
That's a retarded thing to get mad about. I don't understand the level of, like, media analysis that people have, where they're just like, well, this was how it was in the old thing, and now in the new thing, they changed something slightly, and that's bad because it's different from the way it was before. And it's just like, do you not realize that the original Disney animated movies, like the entire premise of those classic Disney animated movies was they would take folktales and then they would change it in order to make like whatever their new artistic vision is. Like taking a classic thing and then changing it to fit whatever agenda you have or whatever artistic vision you have. That is the inception of those classic Disney animated movies. They took the Snow White thing, made a bunch of changes so that Walt Disney could better sell it to whatever the audience was at the time. Or maybe there were just changes made because whoever wrote those movies that's just the story that they wanted to tell. I don't understand why people get mad at changes like that. Especially something as innocuous as that. Were there fans of the Snow White folktale back in 1930 whatever when they made the original Snow White movie that were going like, this isn't Snow White. This is Snow White in name only. Like were there like retards like that back in the day as well?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the flagship animation for the Disney of old, and it's kind of crazy to see what the Disney of now is doing to it. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
They're not doing anything to it. It's a new movie. That's also just like it's such a stupid perspective to have of like, they're ruining the original movie. It's like, no, they're not. Nothing is going to happen to the original movie in the same way that nothing happened to the folktale when Disney made their animated movie.
Why wouldn't you want a prince to come along and sweep you off your feet? And if you're a 1930s man without a job that's struggling to feed his...
The prince doesn't even like sweep her off of her feet. He shows up at the beginning and then he like sexually harasses her. Like, no offense, but like Rachel Zegler's not wrong about that. And then they don't interact for the rest of the movie. Like, when does he sweep her off of her feet? They literally have no relationship. And then like at the very end of the movie, he decides to satiate his necrophiliac desires and kisses her.